Frankly Speaking Boot Camp, brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. Welcome back to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acomb. We are broadcasting from the Hesselson studio and returning to the Zoom Hesselson studio. Greg, thanks so much for being on the program.
Hey, thanks a lot for inviting me back, Frank.
Well, we were very excited when we saw that you're having a hometown boy makes good. He's coming to Barnes & Nobles January 31st from 1 to 3 doing a book signing. We talked about this a little bit last time you were on the program. Tell us about One Bills Drive, the Buffalo Bills' greatest home games.
Yeah, so One Bills Drive is basically we did a book to focus on the greatest 50 games played at the stadium. Mm-hmm. Now that it's officially closed,
right?
So we really wanted to put it out this year while people were experiencing, the last games they were gonna go to. So we highlight the top 50.
Was it difficult to highlight the top 50? I mean, all the games that played there, all the options. I'm sure things can get controversial at times.
Yeah, no, it was actually quite a bit easier, because of course I did this book with my co-author Bud Bailey. And Bud and I each created our own list of 50, and then we shared the lists, and 47 of the 50 we both had. We didn't have them necessarily in the same order.
Wow, that's impressive, though.
Yeah, it was like crazy. Like I thought we'd be spending weeks debating which game should be on and not, and it was really easy after that.
Did you have other people involved to kind of look over it too, or is it just a decision between the two of you?
Well, no, it was interesting. Back in 2021, I surveyed about 10 other Buffalo football people that were really focused on Bills history and asked them what were their top 25 games.
Yeah.
And I basically calculated all that, kind of put it aside, and then brought it back out. And, of course, pretty much almost all the 50 games were mentioned by one or more of those 10 people.
Wow.
And the top, 20 were very, very consistent. Not necessarily in the same order,
right?
But the top 20 were pretty unanimous.
Now, how long does it take to put something like this together?
Well, this one went really fast because we had started writing the stories in January of last year.
Oh, okay.
With the idea that we would actually publish it in 2026.
Okay.
And then Bud and I, basically, we each wrote 25 of the stories and then shared with each other and edited each other's. So by July, we had actually 85 stories that we had written.
Oh, wow.
And then we approached the publisher, Reedy, who ended up publishing the book. And they said, well, we would only want to do 50. It's like, yep, okay, fine. And they were like, yeah, but we'd really like to do it this year, not next year, because
tough.
Everybody's going to be emotional and engaged in the current state.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh my gosh, we got to hurry up then because they wanted a complete manuscript with photos and everything by Labor Day.
Wow. So that is a quick.
So because usually when we do a book like this, it's a couple-year project from the time we start to when it actually hits the bookshelves. This was less than a year.
Were you stressed this last season, hoping that there wasn't some gigantically great game?
Well, of course, yes, and of course there were.
Exactly. I didn't want to say anything, but
there were two that definitely would have made the list.
Yeah.
One, of course, the Ravens game on opening night, which we have our final manuscript basically done.
Yeah.
And then the Bengals game later in the year, the 39-34 crazy game in the weather and stuff. And, I don't know if we would have put the Jets final game in.
Yeah.
But we certainly would have commented about the post game and
how that
all played out.
Well, I did want to ask you about that, and we'll talk more again. The Barnes & Noble signing this Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. What did that last game feel like in the stadium? Because I mean, that's really where your love of the Bills began, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pretty much. I mean, I went to my first game there when I was 16 and basically spent my life there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
But so it was kind of surreal in that the game itself, I mean, the Bills were playing all their backups.
Yeah, I know.
And still dominating the game. Mm-hmm. But what they did is they came out, with about 10 minutes left in the game and told the fans, don't leave.
Yeah.
That we're going to have a post-game, celebration. Mm-hmm. And, Bills fans, I mean, when we're up 3 or 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, everybody's heading out.
And like any game, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, very, very few people left.
Yeah.
And then they had this tribute video that was just fantastic.
I heard.
They basically showed a bunch of highlights, but they played it to the Goo Goo Dolls music, and of course the Goo Goo Dolls are from Buffalo.
Yeah.
And they played some of their music, so it was just like this, like Buffalo coming together kind of thing. This, almost, but it was really, to some degree, sad. I mean, it was almost like a funeral.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, when they were playing the tribute video, I mean, everybody was crying.
I know. It's almost unfair when they do something like that. You got Goo Goo Dolls, you've got all the memories showing up on the screen. It's like if you go to a funeral and the Taps or Danny Boy starts playing. It's like, you can't do this. That's not fair, right?
Exactly. And then when it was over, people still weren't like leaving. And the other part that was interesting is several of the players came back out and like watched the video.
Yeah. Wow.
They like wanted to be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of interesting. But then when people finally left, nobody was in a hurry. Like normally when the games are ending, everybody's rushing to get to their car.
It's a nightmare, yeah.
Right? It was like this funeral procession.
Yeah.
Just everybody walking out. It was pretty quiet. People weren't really saying much. But the tribute video was really, really good.
And it was interesting watching it on TV to see what is like essentially the atmosphere normally of almost a preseason game.
Yeah.
Meaning the significance of the game and things like that, to have it elbow to elbow. And like you said, to see people right up until the end on the screen, there was something for those of us sitting at home that was kind of an amazing takeaway from it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Now, what's it going to feel like for you as it kind of sinks in and you have time and you get ready for next season to go to the new stadium? What do you think that feeling is going to be like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm without a doubt going to miss the old stadium, but I mean, I'm sure the excitement will build.
Oh yeah.
And of course, the new stadium, I'm sure, is going to be, beautiful and have all kinds of amenities that the old stadium didn't have.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see if the sight lines are as good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, that's one of the wonderful things about the current stadium is you were so close to the field. The sight lines were just fantastic, almost no matter where you sat in the place.
Right. Now, what are you going to do? Because you obviously have such a collection. We talked about your collection in the past. What about the memorabilia from the stadium? Because I understand they're going to have big auctions and things like that. Are you already refinancing your home, or what are you?
Well, what they did is they sent out an email. This was probably a month before the season ended, and offered to season ticket holders to buy your seats.
Oh, that's great.
So I bought my seats.
Of course.
And they said that we'll be able to pick them up probably the end of March or April.
Yeah, wow. That's such a good idea, but it's also such a nice gesture for people that have been diehard fans for so long.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, I'm going to put them in my sports room.
Yeah.
And I can actually sit in my seats and watch the Bills on TV.
Yeah. That's great.
But they're also selling other memorabilia from the stadium. Like, for example, they're cutting up goalposts and they're selling them as like pencil holders, and they're even selling urinals.
Oh no. Wow. Someone has a lot of money to blow if they want that. I don't even know. There's not enough sanitizer in the world for me to put that in my house personally. But that just may be my own.
I'm with you, but there are people that are buying them, I guess.
And even as a talking point, be like, "Hey, everybody, welcome to my party. Come here. I got to show you the bathroom." Like, it's not even necessarily a good conversation starter when you really think about it.
No. And then I'm sitting there going, "Okay, well now will somebody like want to get them autographed by former players or opponents?"
Yeah. Let's move on. No, I do think it's really special though, and that's something that the Bills obviously offer their fans, is that connection. Like, I've talked to people that also bought their chairs, or they were looking for, just questions about some memorabilia and things that meant a lot to them, and they've been nothing but forthcoming and saying, "Hey, we're going to help you in every way we can." I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and they're pretty much going to sell everything.
Yeah.
Which is good. So so people will have access, even if you weren't a season ticket holder. You're going to get access to all different kinds of collectibles.
That's great. Now, we do have to talk about the season that was. What are your feelings as you have a little time to look back at it?
Well, I mean, it was like this team never seemed to like really completely click.
Yeah.
There always felt like there was something missing. But even with that said, I mean, the win over Jacksonville, which I went down to Jacksonville and went to that game, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great win, and I actually thought that a win there might jettison them because I actually thought Jacksonville at the time might have been the best team. And then to win that game, and then of course to go to Denver and lose the way we lost.
I know that. What is it? It's almost like the Bills thing, right? I mean, you watch that and it's like, let them win or lose on their own, and we don't have to go into kind of relitigating that. But boy, that's a frustrating ending to that.
Well, in all ways, right? I mean, not only the Brandon Cooks, was it a interception or was it a catch, but then, they hadn't been calling pass interference the entire game, and then they called two basically that decided the game. It's like you said, let the players decide the game, and it was a really, really good game. Yeah,
absolutely. That's almost more frustrating in a way. I guess if you're going to lose big, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was a frustrating game, but you can't take anything away from the season. And I know we talked about it, you and I think the last time you were on. It's too bad they couldn't get in sync the year that Kansas City was completely out of it.
Oh yeah. Well, and I mean, and you sit here and you go,
yeah,
I'm quite confident we would have come to New England and won.
Yeah.
I just think we beat them the last time we played them. I think that would have been in the back of their heads. We would have scored a bunch of points. I think we would have beat New England, but we didn't. And I know my New England friends that are, of course, huge fans.
Yeah.
The one team they didn't want to play in the playoffs was us.
Oh, I'm sure. And I want to ask you more because after the season ended, it didn't settle down from there. We'll say that. If the only thing is sped up. But since you mentioned New England, I just had this as a side note. What do you think about Belichick not being first ballot Hall of Famer?
It's completely wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Hey, personally, I didn't like the guy, right?
No.
I mean, and the way that he treated the media with the disrespect that he continually did, I thought that was appalling. But also the Pro Football Hall of Fame, they don't have any clauses about any. It's all about on-field performance. Well, on-field performance.
It's undeniable.
He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Who is?
Yeah. And again, I know we're talking about the Bills. We're talking about One Bills Drive. We've got the Barnes & Noble's autograph session this Saturday from 1 to 3. But I just had to mention because to me, it's opening a new can of worms where what does that mean for the Hall of Fame? Because when people like us who don't like Belichick can come together and say, well, come on, what are we doing?
Right. No, I think the Hall of Fame loses its credibility.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't put a guy like that in, it's like, and then, are you going to put Robert Kraft in?
Yeah.
Well, what about his, out, off the field activities?
Sure,
right?
sure.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. But that's not why we're here to talk. Let's go back. So the season ends, and then I'll be full disclaimer. I did not personally like the decision, but they let go of McDermott. What did you think about that decision?
Yeah, so I wasn't surprised at the decision, in that 6 chances, where you're right there,
sure,
and 6 really heartbreaking losses. Can Sean get you over the top? I wasn't surprised at it. I was surprised at how it came about.
Yeah.
Like, in listening to the press conference, it sounded like Terry never thought about firing McDermott until he walked into the locker room afterwards and saw his quarterback crying. Well, what did you expect?
Yeah.
It was a heartbreaking loss. And it's the first loss that the Bills have had in the playoffs that was really on Josh.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he did not play well at all. And so I'm sure he was, like he said, I let my whole team down.
Yeah.
So to make a major decision, because I would have thought if he was going to make that decision, he would have been reaching out to coaches Saturday night, Sunday, before he ever acted on Sean. And then to let Sean go only and not Bean.
Yeah.
It's like those guys have been hooked at the hip since they came.
Yeah.
They're both accountable for where we are.
And that ended like a little bit of a soap opera aspect to it when Bean got in. I mean, really, and I personally didn't like for lack of a better word, blaming Josh. Well, he was crying. I didn't like seeing that. That almost puts the onus on Josh somehow. I don't really understand the press conference itself. That's, I suppose, that was probably one of the worst press conferences I'd seen.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And then when they went to Bean and they said, "Well, what are you looking for in a head coach?" and he said, "We don't have any criteria." Yeah. It's like, what? Like, this is 3 days afterwards.
Yeah.
And then the coaches that they interviewed were underwhelming from my perspective. Like, where was Mike Tomlin? Where was Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
Where was John Gruden? Where was Kurt Signetti, Marcus Freeman, Nick Saban?
Yeah.
Those are all guys that have won at the highest levels. We didn't talk to any of those people. We talked to a bunch of coordinators and, Brian Daboll.
Yeah. And wasn't that kind of the biggest fear, too, that it was going to be one of those where we hear in the past with the Bills, well, we picked the defensive line coordinator, and it's always some weird pick where we said, I don't even know this person. Why are we going this direction?
Yeah. So, based on who they picked or who they interviewed, it's like, okay, Joe Brady's probably the best of that lot.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing, and I've seen so many people comment on this, so McDermott couldn't have handled it classier with that statement. That was, talk about borderline emotional listening to him read that statement. It was tough to watch, and I heard someone say after that statement, I'm paraphrasing, and then the way Pegula handled the press conference, Pegula and that team made it as if you're a head coach, you don't want to be a part of a team with Josh Allen. That's how poorly they handled it.
Yeah. Because like I was disappointed in that. Like, I would have thought Terry would have basically opened that press conference with, hey, this was one of the toughest decisions I've ever had to make.
Yeah.
Sean has meant a whole lot to this football program. We wouldn't be here today without his contributions. But we hit a playoff wall. Yep. Okay. We all bought into that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think you have to thank him for what he did, because go back to 2017, we were a mess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's true. And I think, too, because McDermott has done so much for the team through the years, it was just tough to have that be his last game. The way it happened.
Without a doubt. Yeah. Without a doubt. And the way we lost it. Right?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's that to me. But again, a classy statement. I would suggest, like in the past, Pegula maybe not think about doing a press conference again anytime soon. Maybe leave that to the professionals. Right?
Yeah.
But that's me getting a little petty, I suppose. But it was a tough one.
No, it was. But the fan base likes to hear from the owner, though.
You're right. And I think it's always overhyped. And this is sports in general, where you start to see the headlines that he loses the Bills fan base. You'd have to do a lot to lose the Bills fan base. Yeah. That's so. And I know they started pushing the idea that there's a petition that got 80,000. Yeah. It's sports is no different than politics, is no different than there's the media's coverage, right?
Right. Well, and if Joe Brady has a great press conference tomorrow, we'll all be on board.
Exactly.
Right.
It's the nature of the game, right? But we covered a lot right there in 5 minutes. I thought it would take longer. It seemed like an eternity when you were watching it, the press conference and all of it.
No, it was painful to watch. I felt bad for everybody, and then I felt bad for poor Keon Coleman too.
I know. We don't have to start that part either. No. But boy, that must have been. Why am I even a part of this? Why am I coming up like this? That must have been so rough. But we actually are talking about One Bills Drive, the Buffalo Bills' greatest home games. The book signing at Barnes and Nobles coming up on Saturday from 1 to 3. Just as an update, and I know this is a kind of a long process you talked about in the past. How's the new book about Ralph Wilson coming?
Very, very good. I expect to get the copy edited version next week with all the publishers' suggested edits.
Oh, that's great.
And then I'll review that basically the month of February, and then they'll start doing the layout and the design of the pages in the book and the cover and all that. And when I talked to them last week, they expect it'll be released in July.
Wow, that's a great turnaround. You've got to be excited because that's been quite a work in progress.
Oh yeah, 4 years in the making, and so I'm excited to see what their comments are, because they do a great job. So I'm excited to see because I know the last book I did with them, they made it better, which
Yeah.
is what you hope the publisher
That's what, yeah, that's what you hope, right?
Right.
But One Bill's Drive is out now. I know this probably goes without saying, but if people attend Barnes and Nobles on this Saturday from 1 to 3, you can obviously buy the book there, right?
Oh yeah, yes, for sure.
Yeah, I assume.
Yeah, Barnes and Noble has all the books available.
Because I saw on the website you could get it now on the website as well, and I just want to make sure. I'm sure they will, and you'll sign them. I'm sure you're gonna. I won't talk too much more of your ear off because I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of great conversations on Saturday about McDermott Pegula, but I'm sure you're gonna be repeating this.
I posted on my social media. I said, "Hey, come and we can talk about the book, or we can talk about what's happening with the Bills, or both."
And donate to my urinal fund. I want to own this. You have a coffee can right there. That sounds great. Well, Greg, thanks so much for being on the show. Best of luck on Saturday. I can't wait to stop by and visit.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. I look forward to seeing you in person.
Let's have you on again soon, especially when the Ralph Wilson book comes out, okay?
All right. Great. Thanks a lot.
All right. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking after this. Stay with us.